In this video, I zeroed in on what I kept referring to as the eyesores in my apartment, the spots that always got missed in speed cleaning sessions, but nonetheless continued to bother me and make me feel like I'd left things unfinished. You could also consider this a deep cleaning session where I take on chores that I've either never gotten around to doing or only do about once or twice a year. It was really important to me to get some of these done before my summer semester started. Once school starts for me, it becomes really challenging to accomplish tertiary tasks or non-essential chores or projects. On the flip side, I find it difficult to concentrate on school sometimes when I notice excessive clutter around my very small space. Having my apartment more in order means my mental space can reflect that, making me a more focused and efficient student. One of the things that had been bothering me for quite a while were my curtains. They're fairly long and have collected quite a bit of dust and hair over the last 3 years I've lived here, and I had never gotten around to washing them, so I decided today was the day. While my curtains were in the laundry, I threw out my long dead avocado tree named Rocket. Rest in peace, Rocket. I'm sorry I failed you this past year. I dumped out the soil and decided to also toss one of the dead succulents that lived and died on my windowsill. What you don't see is that I stored the plant pots in my closet for a time when I'm no longer living in an apartment that makes keeping plants alive very challenging. Next, I moved on to my bookshelf. The main problem that I noticed here was how dusty the surfaces were, and my little catch-all dish was overflowing with masks. So I took a microfiber cloth, dusted all the shelves, and folded the masks nicely. This is one of those chores that takes hardly any time at all, and yet it is so easy for me to put off. I then did the same thing for my headboard, which doubles as a kind of nightstand. It was dusty and had a coffee ring stain and melted wax that had been bugging me for a while. My next mini cleaning project was dealing with this rolling cart. It was starting to become a clutter magnet, and there really was no organization method to it. The bottom shelf was also full of unread books with a thick layer of dust that I'd been wanting to sort out for a while. I vacuumed up the dust right away and decided to go ahead and store the books on the bottom of my bookshelf. Now, all that's left on my cart are a few essentials like my wireless charger, a coaster, chapstick, and my contact case and solution. The next clutter magnet didn't take a lot of time. I had some Amazon packages full of my textbooks for summer semester and a couple of other bits and bobs that needed to be put away where they belonged. I then rearranged the plant and crystal to create the illusion of more open space. The next project is more of an eyesore than a clutter magnet, and that's my old spring/summer doormat. If you have been subscribed to my channel since the old days, you may have seen this doormat in an old Target haul. I decided it was looking pretty dull and worn and figured hosing it down would bring it back to life a little. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, this project made me realize there's a big rip in this doormat. I ultimately view this as a good thing, as it means I'm going to toss it when I pull out my autumn doormat in September. Yay, minimalism. Next, while my curtains were in the dryer and my doormat was drying in the sun, I sprayed down my windows. Pretty straightforward. This is an example of a chore I do maybe twice a year. Then I swept and vacuumed the floor in front of the window to avoid any more dirt, dust, or hair getting on my freshly washed curtains right before putting them back up. The last eyesore is the top of my fridge. I never really established an official organization system for the top of my fridge. When I moved in and realized that I had virtually no pantry space, I just kind of threw as many pantry items as I could fit on top of my fridge, and that was that. For the past few months, I'd really wanted to take everything down and give it a good cleaning because I could feel the thick layer of dust and grime as I'd pull things down to cook. Gross. It took 2 wet wipes to clean the top of the fridge. Then I dried it with a paper towel and dusted the items as I reorganized them. I threw away a couple of things here and there, but kept mostly everything and stored things in a way that made sense based on my food prep patterns. That's really all for this video. There were a few other areas that I wanted to get to, but it's just not possible to tackle everything in one day, especially when you're trying to film it at the same time. However, I'm really pleased with the amount of cleaning I was able to get done. When my summer semester started a couple of weeks ago, I was able to hit the ground running, feeling like I could focus most of my energy on my academics. I know I keep saying this, but an apartment tour is forthcoming. I live in a tiny studio apartment that I love that I've been wanting to share with you for a couple of years. Let me know in the comments if you're excited to see that video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like seeing this type of content so that I know to post more like it. Subscribe to my channel for more productivity videos, and I will see you in the next one.